Hey, yo, what's good? It's Roku. Yeah, it's me. And we're getting a new card. I've been trying my ass off to get Nico, y'all, and I have not been anywhere close to getting Nico. So that's probably going to be, I'm probably going to get Nico somewhere down the line. Like, with my luck, I ended up getting Black Knight on the first try, which was pretty dope. And I still like Black Knight, and I still need to make a video about him. But I haven't gotten Nico. So whenever I went for my second spotlight cache, I ended up getting the mystery variant or whatever. I just wish that, hey, if we can unlock a random 4 or 5 card, I wish I can, even being almost not collection complete, but almost, I wish that they would let me get a series 5 card. That'd be really nice, instead of trying to get like another Kang variant or something. But oh well, it is what it is, man. Like, I wish I can get Echo. Like, that's the card that I've been kind of wanting to get after I talked about it yesterday. So I have Echo pinned, or at least, like, you know, Silk or something. But either way, we got a brand new card that's coming out tomorrow, whenever this decides to be released. And looking at this card, I'm not gonna say it's gonna be a problem or anything, but it's gonna be really, really strong. So with that, all that out of the way, let's talk about Werewolf by Night. The description: after you play an on reveal card at another location, move there and gain +2 power. And it's a 3 cost with 3 power. So already in my head, when thinking about this card, is that it's going to be in an on reveal deck, and it's probably going to be in a Silver Surfer deck for sure. But this card, you're going to have to play relatively smart, because you never know where it's going, you know where it's going to move, so you have controlled movement, right? And it could be at a point where you mess up and you didn't want Werewolf to move to that location, but I still think it's going to be a really good card, and I think this will beef up Silver Surfer to a better. It's going to push Silver Surfer to be a better deck. I still think Silver Surfer is criminally not underrated or anything, but it's still a really good, fantastic deck. And sometimes, like, I used to be like my fallback deck. I had a Silver Surfer because he's one of my favorite characters, by the way. I love Silver Surfer. So unreleased, is getting released tomorrow. I just kind of wanted to do some like deck ideas with Werewolf by Night, so hopefully we can construct something cool. From what I believe, it should trigger twice. So if you play a 1 costing card that have like a Yondu or something, and that pops, and then like an Electra, I know I'm just saying some like 1 cost cards, but just bear with me. In different locations, it's gonna trigger twice. So we're gonna have something that triggers twice. So I think even with like Wong and stuff like that, you gotta be weary if you're gonna try to play this with Wong. With Wong cards and decks and stuff like that. So just be like aware of that, pun intended, I guess. But let's take a look at some of the variations that it's gonna have. That looks really dope. Night Forge, hell yeah, that looks sick. That looks like a sick variant. I'm probably gonna be trying to save up for that. I like this old school one. I don't know anything about Werewolf by Night. Judging from what he looks like from the artwork of this from this comic book, I'm going to say he's an older character, and I personally don't know a lot of the, like, okay, I'm a comic fan, but there's some of the cards that are coming out that I didn't know anything about. Like, I didn't know much about Man-Thing. and I don't know much about Werewolf by Night, but I have a pretty decent amount of like comic knowledge. But I also like the old school like variant look, and I wish they had some like old school covers of like Spider-Man and Doctor Doom. I would love like a Doctor Doom old school variant personally. That's just me. But Doctor Doom is my favorite, by the way. I wish I could show you guys my background, but I have to close out my game. I have my snap in the background. But anyway, I just be talking, okay? Yeah, they got some questions here. Werewolf by Night, can Werewolf by Night trigger more than once? And I believe it's got answered. So if separate on reveal cards will hit, then yeah, it's going to move. Which it kind of makes me think of like a Black Panther Arnim Zola combo, and then you're able to hit Arnim Zola on Black Panther, and I wonder if it like moves for each time that it reveals. Like that's kind of some ideas that I like thought about. So let's try to like construct something really dope with Werewolf by Night. All right, so with Werewolf by Night being a 3 costing card, this is one of the decks that I decided to construct. And I have Nightcrawler, Elsa Bloodstone, Kraven, Jeff, Werewolf by Night, Spider-Man, Silver Surfer, Polaris, Juggernaut, Hulkbuster, Miles Morales, and then Sarah. This was just something quick and that I decided to like whip up and everything. Not a lot of arm reveals besides like Hulkbuster, and you know, well, we got quite a few. The goal is not to make Werewolf by Night insanely like Shang-Chiable, but we're gonna make him very, very strong on top of just being able to move stuff. So like with him being able to move, I figured like Kraven would be a really good starting point, and Elsa Bloodstone would be a good starting point to be able to add as much power as you can and be able to move like the cards. So I personally think like this deck will be okay. It won't be like the best, but this is, like I said, I spent like maybe 5 or 10 minutes like trying to construct a Silver Surfer deck for Werewolf by Night, and I think this will be probably like a decent one. Not gonna be the best, but it'll be pretty decent, like a good starting point. So I might like rock with, if I do happen to get Werewolf by Night, I think this would be something that I would try out for myself. A lot of low cost cards. Miles Morales becomes cheaper. Sarah would just, you're able to just put whatever you want on the board. You could probably take out Sarah, but I think as of right now, this would be a pretty decent deck. If you don't have like Elsa Bloodstone, then maybe Goose. I think Goose would probably be like a decent card to add. But I think these are like I said, I'd probably rock with this deck. Spider-Man being a 5 costing card, Polaris being 5, Juggernaut would end up being 5, and then on top of Hulkbuster getting some of the buffs. What depends on if you match it up with any of the big boys on there. Not big boys, but decent power. But this should have decent power. Kraven, Nightcrawler is really good. Elsa Bloodstone with other cheaper cards. You're able to get one location with like all these cards played on any turn. And if they have a 1 costing card that needs to be moved, you can move it into the Kraven lane. And then that's where Werewolf will be able to move on top of Kraven getting that buff and Werewolf by Night getting the buff. Plus with the Silver Surfer at the final turn, whatever you want to lay down, like a Juggernaut and Silver Surfer at the last turn, or being able to drop all these 3 costing cards on there to move. I think this will be a pretty decent deck to start off with. So that's one of my ideas for Werewolf by Night. Take a gander at it, write it down, and if you guys get it on your first try, Let me know how it rocks for y'all. All right, this is another idea that I had in mind with Werewolf by Night. I honestly think you probably put in Nico. I keep forgetting about Nico. I don't have the card, so I honestly forget about her. But if you guys have Nico, I think this would be really awesome to have in the deck for Werewolf by Night. But this is like an idea that I have for Werewolf by Night, having a bounce kind of archetype with Forge, being able to buff up like Werewolf by Night if he needs to be, Hitmonkey, like wherever Hitmonkey. My question is, if Mysterio comes down and you have Werewolf by Night, will he trigger for each Mysterio that's on the board? That includes the illusions, because you know, as they drop, they act like they are Mysterio. So I wonder if like Mysterio being on the board twice will trigger Werewolf by Night to go to each lane with Mysterio. Because it works for Hitmonkey. I don't know if it works for Werewolf by Night. This is kind of an idea that I had. Maybe this could work. Maybe this could work. I'm not entirely too sure. But I think you have to be incredibly smart to be able to play this. You don't want to be able to have too much like on the board. But I think personally, there's a lot you can probably add on in here to make it a little bit better. But like I said, I don't know much about the card, but these are just like some ideas that I had. But I think like maybe in a bounce archetype this will probably work. But we'll have to see. We'll have to wait till tomorrow and see. Hopefully this guys give you an idea. Probably maybe another Elsa Bloodstone in here to add for Werewolf by Night to get more power. So you can just basically get more power the more you can add into it. But I honestly think maybe like a bounce archetype would probably work pretty decently well with Werewolf by Night. But that's an idea that I had. I was trying to think of, but we can see if it possibly will work. We never know. But America Chavez is also in there for consistency, to be able to try to get these cards out. And Luke Cage is in there slotted to protect your Werewolf by Night from Shadow Kings. But yeah, I think this will be all right. Let me know what you guys think about this deck idea, and let me add another one for y'all. And last but not least, I had an idea about since we're gonna have on reveals and whatnot. Try to put in a Zola Wong type of idea. Basically you have your Iceman, Scorpions, Jeff and everything, your basic layout of a Sandman ramp type of deck. But the only reason why I constructed this is like I have a question. If Arnim Zola pops off, right? If I hit Black Panther, okay, and I Arnim Zola it with Werewolf by Night that's out there, will Werewolf by Night move to each lane that Black Panther is in? That'll probably be insane, because like one side will have like a lot of power. But basically you want to have like a Werewolf by Night with like Iron Lad out on the board. But either way, this will play like a regular old Arnim Zola Black Panther combo type of deck, which is really hard to like stop if you don't have the tools to stop it in your deck. But this is one of the ideas that I had. And if you don't like Werewolf by Night, and then if you don't have Scorpion or Iceman by turn 1, which is honestly, it seems like if you have Iceman and Scorpion in your deck, that's literally the first two cards that I always typically see when it comes to this type of deck. I never get like Iceman on turn 3 or anything like that. But if you just so happen to not draw into a consistent good hand, I think this will be pretty decent enough to warrant like Werewolf by Night on top of like Electro and Jeff and stuff like that. Slow down the game, have your moving piece, because Jeff can be played anywhere at any time. Electro will be able to get out Sandman a lot earlier, or Black Panther, or be able to do the Black Panther combo and whatnot with on top of Dr. Doom, and then Werewolf by Night will be able to move. But the main thing is to is the Arnim Zola Black Panther, and I wanted to see and know if Werewolf by Night will activate if Arnim, like, so bam, he hits Black Panther, Werewolf by Night moves over to the Arnim Zola lane, and then when both Black Panthers magically pop up in different lanes, will he bounce to the first lane to gain +2 power, and then possibly a gain 6 at the last turn type stuff? So I want to know how that interaction will work. So that's another idea that I have with thinking about Werewolf by Night. So we have to see how he moves and how he goes. But those are like the 3 decks that I kind of had the idea for, and hopefully you guys will be able to like see something and maybe let me know what you guys think about Werewolf by Night and how he's gonna possibly change the direction of Marvel Snap, or it's just going to be like a really good card to be able to put power out there if you're one of those, like, you know, power pushing in the lanes type of person. But we will honestly have to like see how he works. But those are the 3 decks that I have. If y'all have any other ideas to put down, just let me know in the comments and stuff, and if you're excited to see Werewolf by Night in Marvel Snap. But all that out of the way, hopefully y'all check out my other videos and my deck highlights and stuff, and hopefully if I happen to get Werewolf by Night, we can see if these deck ideas that I constructed will be pretty decent for ladder climb or just conquest games. But for now, appreciate y'all hanging out, listening to me talk. We'll see how it goes. Peace.